Good morning. Egun on denoi eta eskerrik asko etortzeagatik. Well, good morning and thanks for attending this webinar in which we are presenting the Turbowave Challenge from EBE, that is the Basque Energy Agency. First of all, I remind you that this session is being recorded and the video will be uploaded to the website of the challenge. My name is Susana Larrea and I work at SPRI, that is the Business Development Agency of the Basque Government. From SPRI, we are supporting and encouraging the rest of the public entities of the Economic Development, Sustainability and Environment Department of the Basque Government to launch public procurement of innovation processes as a tool to promote innovation and then improve the competitiveness of the companies. My colleagues from EBE will explain their challenge. And first of all, I'm going to give you a short introduction. First of all, well, what is public procurement of innovation? Well, public procurement of innovation is a tool to promote innovation and business competitiveness from the public sector with a series of characteristics that complement research, development, and innovation aid. The PPI is the instrument to be used when a public entity, in order to satisfy the need, current or future, requires an innovative product or system to find a solution that is not detected in an ordinary public procurement process. These solutions are solutions that don't exist in the market in this moment and the public sector. Perhaps it's easier to understand the concept with the answers to what is not PPI. It's not a new type of contract or nor a new way of reporting, and not using technological tools in the contracting process, and not innovating in the contracting process or buying innovative products that already exist in the market. What are the advantages of this kind of process? On one hand, modernizing public services with higher quality and more cost-efficient solutions. On the other hand, boosting a particular new market for innovative solutions, helping innovative companies reach economies of scale to grow their business. Also, we have to say that public procurement of innovation is a concept linked to the concept of innovation, that is the introduction of something new or significantly improved. As far as we are concerned, the public procurement of innovation includes products or services that are obtained from knowledge and technologies that don't exist until now, or from the result of combining existing knowledge and technologies. Therefore, PPI makes a lot of sense and is very attractive, but it only makes sense when there is a need that is not covered by current products or services and don't satisfy these the public needs, and has to be specific. I mean, in the sense that it has to seek and improve the provision of public services by increasing the effectiveness and efficiency of long-term spending. There are three types of typologies of public procurement of innovation, depending on the start and destination of the technology readiness level of the technology that we are going to buy in the end. As you can see, well, there is a short description of it. Well, first of all, that is the public procurement of innovation. Is a public purchase of a good or service that don't exist at the time of the purchase, but can be developed in a reasonable period of time. I mean, as you can see on the right hand, the TRL becomes from 7 to 9. I mean, it's very close to the market. The second typology is the pre-commercial public procurement. That is contracting research and development services in which the public buyer does not reserve the results of this R&D for its use, but rather shares with the companies the risk and benefits of this necessary to develop the initiative solutions that exist, those available on the market. I mean, In this case, the TRLs that is where the technology is located would normally start at 4 and go to till 7. And the last one, that is the innovation partnership. Well, this is like the more complete one, because it carries out research and development from the very beginning, from very nearly perhaps 2 or 3 TRL ranks, and the public entity that launches this kind of process also buys the results. I mean, the public company purchase the result of these research and development processes. And then I'm going to explain you what is the preliminary market consultation. That is what we are now launching or announcing you. That is well, the public sector contracts law, the Spanish law, expressly recognizes the figure of this preliminary market consultation with the aim of preparing the contracting and informing the economic operators about the plans and the contracting requirements. What are the purposes of this process? Is gathering information from market suppliers, but also informing the market about the procurement plans and needs of the public authorities. This is a process that has legal entity, and of course safeguards the principles of public contracting, is open to all, and ensures the confidentiality of the proposals, and opens an open dialogue that brings suppliers closer to public buyers. Why we organize this kind of public or preliminary market consultation? First of all, well, to encourage possible suppliers to participate in these processes and in the future public procurement of innovation, to inform them about these opportunities and processes, to ensure the confidentiality and attendance, to open a dialogue about the scope, budget, functionalities, requirements, business model, IPR of the future process, and to facilitate also matchmaking among suppliers. Well, then, in this context, we are presenting this preliminary market consultation related to the Turbowave challenge from EBE. And if you click in this link, you will go to the website, to the challenge, where you can see the summary of this challenge, and you will access to the questionnaire that we have prepared to collect all your innovative solutions to this challenge, whose final objective is to launch a public procurement of innovation process, and the next panelist will develop in more detail. Finally, I remind you that at the end of the webinar, we will open a round of questions, and you can send them through the question and answers box. Please write them down, and if we don't have time to answer all of them, we will answer them in the fax document that is uploaded in the website of the Turbowave challenge. And that's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Yep. Okay. So I guess my turn now. Thanks everybody for attending today this webinar. Hope you find it useful. My name is Enrique Torriaga. I'm a project coordinator here in the Ente Basque Energia, or Basque Energy Agency. I'm gonna try to give you some insights about the Turbowave program that we are promoting. Try to give you some background and context for you to have some understanding of which is the rationale that drives us to promote this initiative, and why we think it's wise to do so. Then I try to identify, the challenge we're trying to tackle here with this program, and finally provide you some timeline information, also some insights of the phases and budget as we are proposing them to be right now, for you to be able to give us some valuable feedback about how, if you think those are well posed, let's say. So yeah, for those who are a bit less aware of what Mutriku is, well, Mutriku, as you can see there in the picture, is essentially a webinar capture plant. Let's say is the first commercial webinar plant that was set up operational back in 2011. So it's almost well more than 10 years since then, and it has exported to the Spanish national grid above 2.5 gigawatt hours of electricity, which is say on the spearhead of the webinar sector. It consists essentially of well, this structure which is embedded into the breakwater, into this coastal protection structure. It essentially consists of 16 air chambers that are sequentially placed, each of those hosting an 18.5 kilowatt electrical machine for a total installed capacity of 286 kilowatts. The recent years has been an intensive work on our side, let's say, on the improvement on the instrumentation systems and data acquisition systems, with the objective of sharing that information with say the academia and the scientific community, and steer the knowledge and scientific activities and make that information useful for the webinar sector as a whole. Yeah, but then the rationale for us to promote this initiative right now is that, well, we have identified that state of the art of the air turbines for the webinar converter has seen a substantial advance in the last 10 years, and also kind of our own knowledge of the particularities and the challenges of the webinar capture there in Mutriku, and say of the challenges to all the subcomponents, specifically turbines and PTO system as a whole, has been growing and growing ever since. Also, through the participation in several R&D projects on our side, like the Marinet projects and also the H2020 Opera project, we really think that Mutriku has demonstrated its value as a key infrastructure for testing PTO components for the webinar sector, specifically for those that could be kind of OWSU based or have synergies with that, as a testing ground for those say systems or systems before going to the harsh OpenSea environment. But it is true also that the original supplier of the air turbines there in Mutriku back in 2011 has discontinued these activities, and some of the systems that were procured and are already kind of reaching their the end of their design lives after 10 years. So start to see some fatigue-related failures, etc. So we really think this is the moment the right moment to launch this initiative. So with that information in mind, we have identified the challenge we're trying to tackle here, which is the design and development and finally testing of air turbine systems for webinar capture in Mutriku with a power plant. But those solutions that we are seeking here to tackle that challenge will be evaluated essentially across 5 evaluation areas, which are namely the performance, which is we're hoping those technologies, those solutions to be able to provide quantitative evidence of the capacity to capture and convert webinar power, let's say. Also for those systems to be controllable, that is, enable those say capture features or efficiency features to be real, let's say, or sustainable across a broad range of operational states. Then we're also expecting those systems to be reliable and in a way that they can be they are safe and operational across the broad range of sea states that we want to see there on a 24/7 basis, let's say. Also, we expect them to be maintainable because we should always bear in mind that what we're trying to get here is hopefully some technologies that are expected to be there at least 10 more years like the one that were already deployed. So long-term, say, prospects about the maintainability and the ease in which those tasks will be performed would be a key aspect for us as infrastructure operators. And yeah, finally, as one of the evaluation areas that kind of merges all the other ones will be for those technologies to offer some attractive cost prospects, let's say, both in terms of CapEx and OpEx. Okay. So yeah, regarding the technology requirements we're going to set up here or we're thinking about setting up for this program, we really want to make it as open as or as wide as possible at this stage. So we only any ideas that are already being, say, for whose only basic principles have been observed. We don't need to say further physical demonstration are suitable to enter the program. So it's pretty much open to any ideas, even in the early stages. I just wanted to highlight some aspects that may be obvious, but I think it was worth here to stress. That is that because of the particularities of the innovation procurement, well, there are some features that we must observe, which is well, the process is going to be open. It's going to be it aims to be transparent and non-discriminatory, which is may sound pretty obvious, but this essentially means that any company, regardless of the size, the nature, or any consortium, say universities or whatever, is able to submit a proposal to this, and yeah. Then what we essentially be procuring here is around the services, and what say the public entities gains here is what the developer is expected to understand is what we're doing here is that the foreground IP that is being developed will be essentially the public entities is sharing the risk and benefits associated with that. So we are holding some rights for internal use as a return for that, say, investment on our side, let's say. And yeah, and one final thought, which is key, and I cannot stretch it enough, which is that because of how we're gonna outline the program, let's say, in a phased and funnel shape stage gate approach, let's say, there's a word that we should always bear in mind, which is competition. I mean, the technology developers are expected to compete within others to be able to advance across the program, and then finally be eligible, let's say, for the final procurement of a small batch of units that may eventually replace the one existing already in Mutriku. So yeah, I think that was an important fact to stress. As a whole, the outcomes we were expecting to have at the end of the Turbowave program would be to have some air turbine prototypes or fully functional prototypes, let's say, deployed and operational during a continuous 12-month period in Mutriku power plant. I think that would already make the technology developers look reliable and strong enough for us to conduct a fourth phase of the program, which I will later explain, which will be the final procurement of the solutions with some proven background about the reliability and some strong backgrounds to prove on the evaluation areas that I was earlier on explaining, let's say. But because of what we were saying, because of the nature of the innovation procurement, we would also like to see some product development and commercialization plan from the side in a way that they were expected to say identify and explore any potential markets for those solutions to be viable, maybe not only for Mutriku but for any other similar applications that may exist around the world, whether that be weaponry or other sectors. And finally, as a way for us to ensure that the R&D and innovation is done in a kind of a structured way, then we also like to see the development and implementation of some kind of technology qualification plan, which here in this context will be related to how we're gonna verify that these novel technologies, because we're gonna accept pretty low-tier technologies, do actually meet the requirements that we have laid out at the beginning of the program, and they really are able to deliver the functionalities that we are requesting them to comply with, let's say. So yeah, regarding the outline of the program, this is how we are proposing to do. There's an intentional here difference between what is Turbowave and what is beyond Turbowave. Here, the scope of Turbowave will be defined by the green outline boxes. The whole Turbowave program will have a total budget of 3,200,000 euros, and for a total duration of 42 months, out of which 36 will be for technical activities, and then 6 months will be used for internal evaluation, stage gates, approvals, etc. So the way we're going to conduct this is we're going to do, as I would say, in a phased approach. The first phase would relate to the concept development. So we anticipate to enter into 6 contracts that would have a duration of 6 months approximately, and then 100,000 euros each. So among these 6 successful developers that have entered phase 1, then we will evaluate the ones who would have more successfully, let's say, completed the objectives of that phase 1, and in a way that we would narrow down the selection to 4 technologies for the second phase, in which they were expected to conduct the design refinement and physical lab testing for them to start proving some features of the technologies they are proposing. So we are anticipating to enter into 4 of such contracts for a duration of 12 months and an estimated budget of 300,000 euros. And then finally, out of those 4, we would down select 2 finalists that will be asked or required to conduct a detailed design, manufacture, and testing through a 12-month period in Mutriku WPP plant. That activities would require, we think, at least 18 months to be successfully delivered, and then they will have a total budget of 700,000 euros. All figures have but is excluded here. And then so that would be the scope of the R&D services, which is the ones that relate to Turbowave. But as I was saying, the vision of EVE is to conduct a procurement or retrofitting of the weaponry plant after the Turbowave. That's what we call here phase 4. Not much information can be delivered so far about this phase 4, but the idea is that, say, out of those 2 finalists, let's say, one of those 2 would be eligible to supply and commission a small batch of units. Yes, I was saying, for the retrofitting of some of the turbines of Mutriku. Here, what we can say is we anticipate for that small batch number to be somewhere between 2 and 8 turbines. Okay. So as Susanna was already pointing out, the point where we start today is we are right in the middle of the preliminary market consultation. I think this is a good opportunity for all the stakeholders, interested parties, to provide feedback about the challenge. You think it's reasonable? If do you think the outlined phases and budget do make sense or do fit the purpose for delivering that challenge? Just to remind you that participating in the market consultation does not give any advantage per se, but I would encourage you to participate, because it's an opportunity for us to incorporate any feedback you may have on that, in a way that, yeah, when we move on to the say writing down of the request for tender documentation, we have captured those say feelings or thoughts that you have posted at this phase. Yeah, and finally, I would like to show some of the key dates that will drive the program. We started this preliminary market consultation back in December. We are right now, as I already know, conducting the Q&A event or webinar for this preliminary market consultation. So it's a good opportunity today to express early on, let's say, in a more informal manner, your thoughts about it. And yeah, for that, you have the Q&A section open here today. I would like to answer any of those questions or issues that may or thoughts you want to share. But then we're gonna try to move on to we're gonna close the preliminary consultation on the 17th of February. So don't miss the opportunity to give us the feedback before that date. And yeah, hopefully we plan to deliver the request for tender documentation or publish it somewhere around April this year, in a way that we will be happy to receive any proposal from your side, any bids, let's say, between April and June 2022. While simultaneously we will be trying to conduct another webinar Q&A session right in the middle of that period for you to clarify any doubts or any concerns that may arise from those say published documents. As per today, we anticipate to be conducting the evaluation and contracting phase somewhere between July and September 2022. And then hopefully if we manage to deliver that, then we're gonna start the execution of the contracts around October this year. And then we're gonna go through all the phases, but essentially we have kind of saved some 3-month period for the evaluation and contracting phases. Also some slack time there for in case there's any slippage in the contract, say execution or whatever, to finally add the value of the 36 months plus 6 that I was expressing before. So yeah, that was essentially it from my side. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here today again, and yeah, hopefully I'm ready to answer some of the questions you may have.
Thank you very much, Enrica, for this comprehensive explanation of the Turbowave challenge. Good morning, everyone. This is Olatza Julia, also from the Basque Energy Agency. And now we will pass on to the questions and answers section. I don't know if you have any questions, doubts, or any comments on what both Susana and Enrica have explained. You know that you can post us those questions by clicking in the button you have in the bottom part of your screens, and we would like to hear you and check if you have any questions. I think one of the questions that we are receiving is, so if it is compulsory to submit a proposal to this preliminary market consultation to later participate in the tender. I don't know, maybe Susana, you can answer that question? Yes. Well, I think Enrica has already mentioned it, but yes, I will tell it again. That well, this future procurement procedures will be open to all companies that meet the established conditions in the procurement, whether or not they have been linked to this process or public or a preliminary market consultation. I mean, it's not needed to participate in this process, but we encourage you to do it first of all because it gives us valuable information about what is the state of the art of the technology, of your technology, and also information about yourselves, about your companies, about the size, about all the background, and it helps us in the definition of the requirements of in the future procurement process. So we encourage you to participate, although it's not compulsory.
Thank you very much. There is another question that, are the proposals limited to European companies? Susana, do you want to take that one?
To European companies?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, all the procurement processes are open, and it's one of the requirements of this. It has to be open processes, and it's open to any company.
Yeah, we may, once the tender is out, we may indicate if we are asking some percentage of that research and development to happen in Europe or by European companies or not, but this will be specified in the request for tenders. So maybe the next one is, what are the evaluation criteria for each stage? Particularly the initial proposal and the end stage one, when there will be minimal testing data available for evaluation. Maybe, Endika, this is for you.
Yeah, I think that's a good question. I think we have kind of outlined which of the evaluation areas we thought were relevant for the evaluation of this PTO. Is it also true that it's not there is no kind of say, I wouldn't, this is my perception, no common consensus on how a component would be, say, assessed again those evaluation criteria, because they were pretty much defined, say, kind of defined for weaponry concept or capital concepts rather than that two components. But essentially, we will have to, I guess, we'll have to assess or particularize those kind of broad evaluation areas for each of the phases, and see to what degree we can rely on the say the accepted say frameworks applied to these particular areas for a specific case of a component. So yes, it's probably that the early stages, well, there will be less kind of say physical testing or you know, but we'll have to, well, say the short answer is we will try to rely on kind of sector-wide accepted frameworks and see how those have applied to the specific phases we're gonna try to conduct here in the Turbowave program.
Okay, thank you. There is another question. Will it be possible to obtain operational parameters for the Mutriku plant?
Yeah, I think that the answer is definitely yes. We, of course, we recognize that, yeah, we're asking here to tackle a challenge, but we need to provide some information for you to conduct your work. And that is already, well, there's a series of activities that have been already triggered or initiated by both Basque Energy Agency and also BMEP, which is the owner of Mutriku right now, to enable, say, successful completion of the Turbowave challenge that essentially, say, boils down to providing some, say, wave energy climate information, geometry, etc., some functional parameters for you to conduct your work. So this is something that we're going to provide as a data pack, let's say, and when we publish the request for tender documentation, hopefully in April 2022.
Okay, thanks. There is another one. What is the expected power for the turbine? Is it the same as now at Mutriku?
I think we are not setting up any threshold for that or any target. I think this what we're trying to hear from you is with the information we provide. Let that be up to you and justify why it is so. Let's say, so we kind of passing the word to you, and we'll evaluate your proposal and your capacity to say back that proposal with sufficient numerical analysis, etc., for that to make sense. So we are trying to be as less restrictive as possible at these early stages.
Mm-hmm. There's another one. So you have indicated the budget for the R&D activities, but not for the turbine procurement. So how will you determine that price? Will the developer know that price in advance?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, but the answer is no. We kind of have some figures in mind, but I think it would be it will do more harm than benefit to set up those upfront, and at some point will even go against the own nature of the R&D activities. So yeah, I think this is something we're gonna need to tackle as we advance down the line through the year, say the execution of the phases of the Eurowave program. That would be my take at least.
Okay. The next one. In phase 3, a total duration of 18 months is considered. So given that there will be time spent in design and manufacturing, what is the expected duration of the prototype tests in Mutriku?
We kind of set up this maybe ambitious target of 12 months continuous. It can be, yeah, this is something we can play around. What we're gonna do, say, is to all the technologies that finally move to phase 3 to be proven with sufficient data to back it. We recognize that there might be maybe some months in the year that may not be very useful in terms of using, say, data that helps support the robustness of the ability to deliver of our technology. So there's some room to accommodate that further, but yeah, we recognize that will be pretty tight, but we also think that we have laid out like an ambitious target right now of the 12 months continuous, but that is something that can be further adjusted down the line to, as we see, when those say fall within the natural months and where we can find the most interesting CS states for those technologies to prove themselves, etc. Later on phase 3.
Okay, so there's another question that in relation to if it is possible for a developer to present 2 proposals with 2 turbine concepts for phase 1. Yeah, I think we have to check that because maybe there is an issue with conflict of interest. Conflict of interest issue. So we have to see if one developer can submit a proposal as a lead procurer with 2, for 2 proposals, I guess.
Yeah, I think this is something we need to think about and maybe provide an answer as part of a request for tender documentation, probably.
Yeah, we will make it clear in the request for tenders. There's another one that I guess, I don't know if it is similar. Is it possible to present a proposal from 2 companies, like in consortium, for the development of parts of the project? I don't know if the question is that we will accept, of course, projects in consortium. So there should be a lead tenderer, but then we will accept proposals in consortium. I mean, I don't know if that answers that question.
Yeah, I think there are 2 separate questions there. No, probably the first one is. As was saying, yes, we are accepting consortium to make bids as well. There's as long as they understand that they are kind of concurring with solidarity to the delivery of the outcomes or what they are contracted for, let's say. So the answer for that is definitely yes.
Okay, we can move on to the next one, which is the evaluation will be solely related to the performance of the turbine at Mutriku, or it will be convenient to prove additional applications for the solutions. For example, an associated wave energy converter that works well with the corresponding turbine.
Well, I think that question kind of has many implications. The scope of say the scope of work we're trying to require here is pretty much focused on, it's pretty much focused on Mutriku, because of the nature, let's say, of the innovation procurement. They say the legal fee we choose, say the final outcomes of maybe slightly different in a way that there might be more or less focused on trying to that solution to be applicable above and beyond Mutriku, or just keep it say optimized and focused for Mutriku. So this is something that we need to think about probably, whether we. But yeah, I think that the bulk of the work should be trying to deliver the most efficient solution for us as plant owners or infrastructure owners there in Mutriku. But yeah, we need to definitely think about this probably.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. So there's another question. So when filling in the questionnaire, if we need any clarification, how and who should we address? Okay, this, go on.
No, I mean, there's a generic email there, which is, I think it's info.
I will later on do like a recap of the presentation, and I will show you in which email we will receive questions. If you have any doubts or questions after this webinar.
Yeah, I think the best way to proceed will be keep like a register, living register of all the Q&As that may arise, and then we kind of keep that updated for everybody to have the access to the answers we provide later on or whatever.
Okay. So there's another question that says, I am an inventor, not a developer or manufacturer. So can EVE help identify Spanish developer that I can work with? Yeah, so I guess the answer is yes. we can here at least in the Basque Country, and we can provide also companies that are working in the wave energy sector. So a list of companies with different products and services that are offering these products and services in this for this sector, and this information is available for everyone. So we can make it public, and you can contact them and try to collaborate with different companies. So that's also the aim, that we can facilitate the collaboration among different companies and actors, stakeholders in this sector. So definitely yes. Well, I don't know if there is any other question that we can try to answer. In any case, if in the following days, so we will close the market consultation, this preliminary market consultation on the 17th of February, and probably most of you will hopefully fill in the questionnaire in the coming days. So if you face if you have any questions or any doubts, you can send us, and we will try to answer all of them if we have a clear answer at this stage of the project, and we will post those questions and those answers in the Turbowave website, so everyone can read those and maybe clarify the doubts for any other participant. I don't know. There's I think there's another question that is related to the testing laboratory for phase 2. I think that, Nika, you have mentioned there is a testing laboratory, a testing that needs to happen in a laboratory in phase 2 of Turbowave. And could the developer choose that testing laboratory at that stage, or will the Turbowave project specify one? Yeah, I think that each developer must identify which is the most suitable infrastructure to conduct those tests. So yeah, I think that lies on their own side, let's say.
yeah, and hopefully they should provide some justification of why they choose to do so there, of course. Yeah.
There's another one regarding so do you have a format or template to draft the preliminary market consultation by February 17th? So maybe Susanna, you can answer that one.
Yes, of course. As is mentioned, there is a website of the challenge, of the Turbowave challenge, where you can find more information about the specifications of the challenge, and also you will have an online questionnaire that you will have to fill. But in order to prepare in a better way this questionnaire, you also have a template in Word file, so you can work there in advance, and then but you have to send it by the online questionnaire that is in the website. At the end of the presentation, or even in my presentation, you will have the link. But if you don't find it, or you have any problem, you can send an email to the Turbowave address, and we will help you with any problem you may have.
Okay, thank you, Susanna. I will later on. I will specify, and I will show you which is that email and the website for the Turbowave project. There's another one about how likely will EBE publish a tender for Turbowave projects. So as you all know, conducting this preliminary market consultation doesn't. After this process is not compulsory for EBE to publish the tender. But of course, that is our final aim and goal. We want to have this tender out, but it is true that for that we need also to receive as much comments and feedback to our program, to our this first draft idea from the sector, to see if really what we are thinking of is, I don't know, it meets the expectations of the companies of the sector, and to see if there is a real interest from the sector for us to publish this tender. So we really encourage you to send these proposals for this preliminary market consultation, and of course we will try to we will gather all the information, and we will try to incorporate your ideas, your suggestions, and your comments into the final request for tenders. So yeah, this is what we asked you today, to please participate in this consultation. I don't know if there is any other. Okay, I think, yeah, we are receiving more questions. So this is the next question is: would you be willing to connect two adjacent air inlets to one turbine? Indica, maybe.
Yeah, well, definitely think about that too. If we set any constraints in that way, I think it's wise not to answer that without thinking a little more from a more technical perspective. Yeah, we're gonna think about that.
We take that question and that possibility and that need from the sector, and we can.
Yeah, there's a trade-off there between ambition and feasibility. Then I think but then, as I was saying, don't want to be too prescriptive either in this phase. But yeah, as I was saying, we need to think about this with all the implications, etc. So yeah. Well,
if this is a need from a company, please indicate it in your questionnaire, and yeah, we will think about it. Okay, we can give some minutes if we to receive some more questions. If we don't have more questions. Of course, yeah, as I mentioned before, you can send them through the later on when filling in the questionnaire. I can maybe move on to my presentation. I just want to do like a short recap of what we've talked today. So the next steps. We've mentioned it many times, but we will close this. Preliminary market consultation on the 17th of February. So please, this is you have 15 days to submit your questionnaires and your proposals to this Turbowave project. We are expecting to publish the final report of this preliminary market consultation by the end of February, maybe early March. So yeah, with all the information that you are sending us, we will elaborate a report. Of course, we will not disclose any confidential information, but you will receive that report if you wish to. And the intended date for the publication of the request for tenders will be in the second quarter of this year. So I think that Endika has been more specific about the dates, but yeah, depending on how we manage to get this final report and all your feedback, we will process that. If you come up with any questions, if you need more clarifications, or if you have any doubts about this Turbowave project, please write us to that email address. So turbowave@eve.eus. So that's the email, and you can send us your questions. And to access this preliminary market consultation questionnaire, you can enter that. You should go to the Express website and go to the Wave Energy Challenge Turbowave. And you will find all relevant information about this project in that website, and you will also see the questionnaire. I can maybe, as we have some minutes left, I can try to show you the website. So hopefully you are seeing my screen. This is the website. You will find here a brief information of the challenge of the Turbowave. Here you can see the main dates of this of this challenge. And you can see here in this part of the website the key documentation for that for this project. We will, as you may be sending us questions, and we will try to answer all of them. Frequently, we will upload those questions and those answers in this section of the website. Maybe to the frequently asked questions. So please, you should check maybe regularly that document. We will let you know when if there is any new information for you, and so you can have all that information. So I don't know if we received any. We have some other questions. So in the panel, so will there be another webinar in April after the call publication? I think that Endika has answered this, but if we are when publishing the request for tenders, yes, of course we can. We will give you some time to digest all that information, and we can organize another webinar to explain more details what we have incorporated in that request for tenders. But Endika, you can maybe.
Yeah, I mean, pretty sure there will be a ton of questions after we publish the documentation. So happy to host an event similar to this later on, maybe May, June, whatever probably we'll try to make that somewhere around the middle of the period we give for submission of of proposals or bids in a way that you have some, as always, was spending time to digest all the information, but then some time also to react to any answers given then, and yeah, make you be able to incorporate that in order to have the most optimal proposal or bid for the tender. So yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if we don't have any more questions. I don't know if you want to do any final remarks, Endika or Susanna?
No, it's good. I think it's said all I wanted to say today.
Okay.
Now, and from my side also now, that we kindly encourage you to participate, as Olacha and Endika has said, and we are here if you need any help with the questionnaire or whatever. And thanks for attending the webinar also.
Yeah, sure. Thanks all for attending.
Okay, so thank you everyone for participating, and hopefully we will hear from you in recent days. So thank you very much, and see you soon. Bye.
Yep, thanks.
Bye.